So him being arrested isn't really like the shocker. It's him coming out and his, I guess, reaction to it, right? Because everybody's saying, King, you grew up privileged, bro. Why are you going down this path? Now he's talking about F the police, F12. So, he just don't care.
King Harris, 21, the son of Atlanta legends T.Y. and Tiny, was fighting for his life after a vicious hit inside a Georgia facility, according to reports. This wasn't some random scuffle. It looked like a calculated ambush, cold and planned. Medical paperwork allegedly says his skull was fractured by a lock and sock, a padlock knotted in cloth and swung like a weapon. Multiple facial bones were shattered, and by the time officers pulled up, he was already out cold on the floor. Here's the part that chills everyone. Internal notes claim every camera on that block went dark minutes before it kicked off. No footage, no witnesses, just silence in a place that's supposed to watch everything. King wasn't some hardened inmate. He was serving short time after a September 2024 DUI arrest and a failure to appear per public records. It was a low-level case until it turned into something that felt deliberate and deadly. The timing is what stings. Weeks after welcoming his first son, with proud family posts still fresh, he's laid up in a hospital under tight monitoring. From new dad smiles to breathing machines in days. That switch is brutal.
Trying to coddle him for. Let the man walk off, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he need to do.
T.I.'s son, King Harris, has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected to his act.
County records show his intake came and went quiet, no media storm. But insiders now whisper he was talking too much about what he saw behind those walls. They say King was loud about what he saw, calling out guards for alleged smuggling, contraband, and looking away from shakedowns inside the block. A source close to his case claims he planned to loop in his lawyer and file a formal complaint, and that's where investigators split. Did that chatter reach the wrong ears? Was the beatdown meant to shut him up, or was it a warning aimed at someone else entirely? The timing is brutal for the Harris family. T.I. and Tiny were already dealing with renewed heat from their own legal drama earlier this year. Their defamation standoff with influencer Sabrina Peterson jumped back into headlines after she tried to revive her 2021 suit alleging misconduct and reputational harm. An appeal the court dismissed, even as she resurfaced older claims the couple has repeatedly denied. She vowed to drop receipts, and her posts kicked off fresh online debates about their past. So when King was attacked, social media instantly stitched the timelines together, suggesting a connection, though there's no confirmed evidence of that right now. Then came the camera mystery, which only raised eyebrows higher. Officials say a power relay error knocked the feeds out, but former corrections staff told us a total blackout across every unit at once is nearly impossible unless someone triggers it. Here's the kicker. The failure started 6 minutes before the assault and ended 5 minutes after medics showed up in a place that's supposed to be watched non-stop. Even state investigators quietly admit that kind of gap demands serious answers.
Able to do that if it wasn't for Family Hustle.
Right.
That does come with some, it's some adversity. There's some adversity to come with that. People get in your bed.
The medical file makes it plain. This wasn't random, it was planned out with intent. A lock and sock isn't a heat-of-the-moment move. It's built ahead of time, stashed, then swung with scary precision. That single detail is why so many are calling this a straight-up organized hit. Word is, some inmates heard an argument earlier that day, but nobody's stepping up on record. Fear is heavy in there. One insider says folks vanished for less and claims certain guards got shifted right after the incident, which looks like a quiet shakeup to anyone paying attention.
Graduated. That's the only good thing they posted of me going viral. I'm not on the media's good side. I don't know why, but it ain't.
Outside the hospital, the support is loud, candles, chants, and non-stop calls for answers. T.I. kept it brief, saying he wants truth over revenge, while Tiny, clearly shaken, asked people to keep praying even as those close to them describe a family on edge and watching everything. Some insiders think King's beatdown was payback for what he said about internal corruption, while others whisper it was a warning shot to his father, who's got serious foes in both the industry and the legal world. In the weeks before his arrest, King was flipping his image, cleaning up and talking growth. On August 21st, 2024, he hit Regina Carter's podcast and boldly said he wanted to be bigger than Michael Jackson, speaking on fatherhood, music, and redemption like his next chapter was already written. Days later, Dunwoody police picked him up on an old warrant, moved him to Pickens County, and everything spun left. Fast! Now, folks in Atlanta are connecting his new confidence to his sudden crash, and the theories won't quit. Some insiders claim certain officers kept him safe until he started talking about what he'd seen behind those walls. Others say inmates tied to outside crews targeted him as leverage, pressure aimed at his father during a messy legal season. Nobody's proved any of it, but every unanswered detail makes the story darker and louder. Even the family's good news got pulled in. Back in August, T.I. and Tiny marked 15 years of marriage, posting Thailand clips and writing about love beating obstacles while chaos brewed in the background. Within weeks, the Happy Family post flipped into crisis mode, and fans started combing every caption for clues like detectives on the timeline. Some say Tiny's line about love winning through tough times wasn't just sweet talk. It was a quiet hint the family was already under pressure.
What we not gonna do is open up the door to my bedroom, as you shouldn't have to either. Open up the door to my bedroom for everybody to come in, chime in, and make their opinions about what we do and don't do or should or shouldn't do. But I will say this, whatever we ever have done, has been done with consensual adults.
What makes this different is the pattern and the upgrade from gossip to real harm. The Harrises have weathered accusations and lawsuits before, but now the violence is physical, the evidence is visible, and the quiet from officials feels way too tidy to trust.
How do you feel with, because now that the evolved T.I. is also the even more of a father T.I., because not only are you just a father, you have to be a father in the industry, because all your kids are in the industry.
Man, damn. Yeah, that's I ain't see that one coming.
State investigators still haven't dropped a single report on the camera blackout, only promising an internal review with no real timeline. Meanwhile, the family is said to be hiring private security and gearing up for legal moves against the facility. Online, the case turned into a cultural flashpoint overnight. Some defend the family, saying they're easy targets because of old drama, while others point at secrecy and whisper about bigger forces pulling strings. Each unanswered detail adds volume, and with officials offering thin explanations, rumor rushes in like air into a vacuum, fast and loud inside that hospital. King remains in critical condition. Sources say doctors did emergency surgery to ease brain pressure. His pulse is steady, but he's not following commands yet. A physician reportedly called the wounds consistent with repeated blows while restrained. If verified, that points to a calculated assault. This wasn't a fight, it was punishment. And without camera footage proving it, justice gets slippery fast.
Crediting and trying to take shit I done did and be like, nah, it ain't good. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's like...
Whispers say some staff got put on administrative leave, but officials won't name them. Privacy laws, they claim, while insiders insist both guards and supervisors are on that list. That quiet reshuffle only sparks more talk, like someone's trying to cap the damage behind closed doors. Even veteran officers are calling it a black mark on the department, and that says a lot. What's undeniable is King Harris is bigger than a headline now. His story sits where celebrity power, broken systems, and family pain collide. You can feel the strain in every statement and press mic, promises of transparency with nothing to show. The family that once sold glam TV moments is now living a reality no one would ever film. Pressure rising, questions stacking up by the hour. Who told guards to stand down? Why did the power relay fail on that one wing? And why place a non-violent young man with gang-affiliated inmates? These aren't tiny coincidences. They look like links in a chain pointing to intent. A former associate put it bluntly. King was loud about things he shouldn't have been. He didn't understand that some secrets keep people safe. That line keeps echoing online as fans light candles outside the hospital and investigators bicker over missing footage. The bigger truth still locked behind silence. We're watching a pattern take shape, and it points to more than an attack on King Harris. It screams silencing. The question hanging in the air is sharp. Who wanted him quiet? And why right now? This clearly stretches past one violent night behind bars. It feels like another turn in a messy, years-long saga shadowing the Harris family. Every controversy, every courtroom headline, every accusation stacked up and stuck to their name like glue. Now a 21-year-old is in critical condition, and those old shadows are back louder than ever. T.I. has never been a stranger to a courtroom. Early weapons charges, reality TV attempts to rehab the image, and interview after interview calling himself the King of the South. But the heaviest blow didn't come from music. It came in court. In 2021, entrepreneur Sabrina Peterson accused him and Tiny of terrifying misconduct, even saying T.I. once pointed a gun at her during an argument. Her defamation suit exploded online, with Peterson painting a world of manipulation and coercion, while the Harrises fired back, insisting every claim was false. When the judge tossed the case, T.I. called it vindication. But the whispers didn't fade. They lingered in the industry, resurfacing whenever the family tried to move forward. By 2024, the energy turned toxic again. Peterson lost her appeal to bring the case back, but she promised revenge, posting that she had receipts and claiming federal agencies already held what she called evidence. That timing looks spooky now, because while the online chatter reignited, King Harris was already locked in a county facility. Just weeks from the night everything went left. We have to ask, if the courts couldn't touch T.I., did someone choose to send a message through his son instead, right now and right where it would hurt most? In a world of celebrity grudges and long memories, the Harrises have faced waves of accusations from Atlanta to L.A., shot down some, and watched others circle back again. That life builds enemies at every level. Ex-friends, industry figures who felt crossed. And just as T.I. teased what he called his final album, The King, his real-life heir was attacked inside a locked facility in a way no one can ignore. Was someone trying to turn that title into a threat? Or did fate mock the man who crowned himself royalty? The timing hits like an echo. Promo interviews rolling, T.I. talking about dropping the ego and retiring the King era for good. And days later, King Harris is fighting for his life. That overlap is chilling. Insiders insist this wasn't random. It was message delivery, plain and cold. Some claim powerful figures tied to old scandals wanted T. I reminded that fame doesn't cancel consequences, while others whisper that people inside were paid to kill the cameras so the tale could be written any way officials wanted. Silence from the prison only made suspicion louder. Every request for footage gets the same line: technical malfunction. Yet no one explains how a modern system tracking every move failed across multiple units at once. The warden says power relay, engineers say a synchronized outage like that screams human hands. A former corrections officer didn't mince words. That doesn't happen by accident. Somebody cut that feed. If true, it means someone inside had access and motive to make sure we'd never see what really happened. We've seen this playbook before. Big cases where evidence fades, paperwork stalls, and the story keeps changing day by day. Official accounts on King's case flipped 3 times in 48 hours. First a fight, then a contraband clash, now a vague, ongoing investigation. Every switch makes the family's cover-up fears sound less like panic and more like self-defense. While authorities hide behind policy talk, the Harrises are moving on their own. Sources say Tiny brought in private investigators to map the night minute by minute, and T.I. tapped attorneys who specialize in corruption cases straight to the experts. No detours. They're not only hunting the attacker, they're tracing the chain of command that let it happen. You can feel the pressure building. A father known for defiance staring down a system that might have turned its own cameras off to shield itself. This isn't just pain, it hits T.I.'s legacy too. He once said calling himself King of the South put a target on his back, and now that line sounds prophetic in ways nobody wanted to test. At the top, enemies stack up, and the Harrises have faced more than a few. Wins in court didn't stop the online rumor mill from spinning revenge-laced narratives that never fully die out. So maybe this wasn't just punishment, it was perception warfare, a loud reminder that the Harris name isn't untouchable in the eyes of whoever wanted a message sent. What's wild is how fast the system looks ready to move on. No press conference, no investigator follow-up, no timeline for missing footage to reappear. That silence feeds suspicion that something bigger is being tucked away, something beyond one family, one prison, or one night. If the Harris suspicions prove right, this isn't just about dodging scandal, it's about shielding names we haven't even heard yet. We're left with a stark picture. T.I. outside that hospital waiting for any sign his son will wake up, while old ghosts creep back in with every unanswered question. This wasn't just an attack, it felt like a message etched into a family's legacy, a reminder that fame can't erase history's debts. Here's the question that won't let go. If this was payback, how far does it stretch? And what truth from that night might the public not be ready to hear? Was King Harris caught in a system failure? Or was he the target of a warning aimed straight at his father? Thanks for watching. Drop your take below and tell us what you think. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to Clout Buzz to stay locked in, because this story is still unfolding.